there's an additional fun way to use the probe lens. So I found if you take off the probe lens, so I found a really cool way to play with this lens. So if you take away the probe lens and use it just like this, you can actually get a 100mm focal length macro lens with this setup. But be careful because the aperture blade is just like in front of everything. So be careful of the dust and also don't ruin your aperture blade. So I found So I found out a really cool way to play with this lens. So if you take away the probe lens and use the lens just like this, like nothing in front, you can still shoot. So there's a really cool way to play with this. So I found out a really cool way to use this lens. Just take away all the probe lens in front and use it just like this. Nothing in front of this lens. It will comes up with a further focal length. So I have an unofficial cool way to use this lens. So I have an unofficial cool ways to use this lens. So you can take away the probe lens in front and use the lens just like this. Nothing in front of the lens. And you can still shoot some videos and photos too, because it will comes out with this. The focal length is you will get some longer focal length around like 100mm. You can get a 100mm or you can get around 100mm focal length with this setup. And it's like using a 100mm focal length macro lens. So it's kind of cool to use it without anything in front. But be careful because the aperture. It's like using a 100mm. It's like using a 100mm focal length. It's like using a 100mm focal length macro lens. But be careful. It's like using a 100mm macro lens. But be careful because the front element is the aperture blade. You don't have any glass in front. It's just aperture blade. So be careful. Don't let the dust goes in the lens, and be careful. Don't hit the aperture blade. It will be like 100. It's like a 100mm macro lens. It comes up with a. It's like a 100mm. It's like a 100mm macro lens, but be careful because the aperture blade is the front element. There's no any front element glass to protect the aperture blade. So be careful of the aperture blade, and also don't let any dust or moisture to goes inside the lens because it's almost impossible to clean the glass element inside because the hole is so small. Yeah. But it's a cool way to use it. But it's a cool way and it works. But it's a cool way to use this lens, and it's a cool way It's a cool way to use this lens, and it works, so you can use it like that, but it's unofficial. So first problem about this lens, the 90-degree probe, the edge is a little bit too sharp. I just keep hitting and hurt myself with this sharp edge. It's just too sharp. I hope next version, or they can have like a curve, a little bit curve, or unsharpen these 4 corners because it's just too sharp. You will easily ruin your product. You will easily just ruin your product you are shooting. It's really easy to ruin your it's really easy to scratch. It's really easy to scratch any, and because it's aluminum, because it's metal design, and because the shell is metal design, and the shell is, I think it's aluminum. And the shell of this lens is aluminum, so it's pretty easy to scratch the surface of the product you're going to shoot. So just and because the lens housing is aluminum, so because the housing is made out of aluminum, it's really easy to scratch the surface of the product you're shooting or just hurt yourself. So I think I want to sandpaper these corners to prevent these like unfortunate things to happen. Again. So I think I would just sandpaper these very sharp edge corner to prevent further. So I think I would just sandpaper these corner to make it a little bit bold. I think I would just sandpaper these corner to make it a little safer for future project to prevent those unfortunately I think I would just sandpaper these edges to make it a little bit dull. I think I would just sandpaper these edges to make it a little bit dull to prevent further unfortunate things to happen. I think I would just sandpaper these corners to make it a little bit dull and just prevent further unfortunate thing to happen. I think I would just sandpaper these edges to make it a little bit dull to prevent further unfortunate things to happen. I think I would just sandpaper these edges to make it a little bit dull because I think I would just sandpaper these edges to make it a little bit dull to prevent the future unfortunate thing to happen again. I think I would just sandpaper these edges to make it a little bit dull to prevent future unfortunate thing to happen again.